Well, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. I am Jessica, and I'm a content contributor for Southern Horse Talk, and I also blog for Southern Belle Equestrian. And Becca has handed over the reins today, and we are both thrilled to be bringing you an interview with Unbranded star Ben Masters. Welcome, Ben. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. You're using that term "star" pretty loosely.
Hey, it's a big deal. So, Unbranded follows the journey of you and your three friends as you guys rode from Mexico to Canada through the American West with 16 Mustangs. So, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Unbranded and kind of what that journey was like for you?
Um, well, the three other guys, Johnny, Ben, and Tom, we went to Texas A&M University together, and we graduated and just wanted to do big adventure. And the time was right in our lives, and um, you know, asked them if I did a trip similar to this in 2010, not quite this long. And I threw the idea at them, like, do you guys want to do this big ride? It'll be fun. And they signed on for it, and then we did it. We adopted a bunch of Mustangs and trained them and got them ready to go, and did this big journey, and it was really cool. We went through Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana.
Yes, it's absolutely amazing. I sit there and think, oh, a trail ride for half a day. I'm like, oh gosh, that's a long ride for me. And you're like, oh, 5 months. um, but this week is a big week for Unbranded. This is the release week. So why don't you share with us a little bit about the big dates this week to look out for and where fans can see Unbranded?
Sure. Well, whenever we were putting together this big ride, we thought, well, let's make a movie too. So we we did a Kickstarter campaign. Which, by the way, if any of our Kickstarter people are out there, thank you. And we raised like $175,000, and that created the seed money to make a movie. So we got a cameraman and taught ourselves how to shoot a little bit, and then filmed it and brought a team on board, and anyways, it's really good. They made a great movie. A bunch of Montana State University guys made the film, and we premiered earlier this year at a few film festivals, and then this coming Thursday, we're going to be in theaters all over the United States, and that's really exciting. And then on Friday, we're going to release on iTunes and on Amazon and some other platforms, so you can find Unbranded and watch it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, did you think that when this started that it was going to, be this big or could be this big?
No, I honestly didn't think that. I mean, we won the audience award at Hot Docs Film Festival in Toronto, and I mean, it was a bunch of it wasn't horse people that were there, and it's an adventure story, it's a personal story, and I think that is why people are responding so well to it, because it's more of a human interaction and a journey of self-discovery that also involves a bunch of really good horses. But no, I never thought we'd be releasing in hundreds of theaters across the United States. No, that's like every dream for a film to have, but very few people, especially in the documentary world, get to see something like this. And I don't know what it is, but we have like the most incredible fan base and social media support, and and people from all over the country that really can reconnect with what we're trying to do, and we're so fortunate to have that.
And congratulations on the award that you won at the Hot Docs Film Festival, and you also won the audience award also at a film festival in Colorado, right?
Yeah, so far we've won every the audience award everywhere we've shown, which is I don't know how I'm ever going to top this. But we did. We got the audience award at Hot Docs and at Telluride Mountain Film as well. And then actually yesterday we got another one from the Equestrian International Film Festival in Missoula. We played there.
Oh wow! Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what has this kind of been thrown into this kind of celebrity status? What has that been like, kind of going around to all these events and kind of being the star of the film and stuff?
It's really odd to have somebody like come up and be excited for you to sign their book, because I feel like I'm a very approachable person and not very special. And it's a huge honor to have somebody think that. And then I also feel kind of like I have them fooled a little bit. But no, we've been working so hard to make this film and get it up and going and releasing it to the world that, geez, I haven't stopped to think about it yet. I'm just trying to enjoy it while I can, and it's pretty rare anybody treats you like a movie star, so I'm going to take advantage of it if I can.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, if you don't mind, could you kind of walk us through what it's like to go to a film festival and kind of what the process is to get your film shown at one?
Sure. This is the first film I've been involved in. You make a movie, which is really hard, and then you submit to the film festivals. They'll have thousands of submissions. Hot Docs had 6,000 movies apply.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And then, the ones that you get accepted to, people come and they watch it, and it's really helpful to get press. It's really helpful to allow people to see it and connect with people. They'll come, and usually the filmmakers are there, so you can talk to them and get a lot of people that are concerned about wild horse management, and they often come. So, the film festivals have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And you've gotten to kind of travel all over doing that too.
Yeah, I got to go to Toronto and got to go to Colorado, which is, God, I love Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so along the same kind of lines of celebrity status, have you found that people recognize you around town or anything like that? Not yet.
It's a big deal for us, but it's not like I'm a celebrity. But no, I haven't had anybody just randomly call me out on the streets.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, it's Ben Masters.
That'd be kind of weird.
So now for some of your bigger events where you guys have held screenings, you guys have actually brought the horses along with you. So what's it like having a horse in front of an audience of people and bringing them on a stage?
I think when people watch the movie, they get to see these horses go from a completely wild animal, and over the course of that 90 or 105 minute film till the end of it, where literally these horses are a bunch of puppy dogs that want to get scratched, and they're completely transformed, and then they watch it, and then to see one of these Mustangs that was untrained not long ago walk out onto the stage and just kind of look around. I think it really drives home the adoption message, in the message that there's some of these horses that are in holding that can be really good horses, and I think it makes people want to get more involved with the issue and learn more about it whenever they get to interact with the animals as well.
Do the horses seem like they like the attention? They know they're getting shown off?
They really like horse treats. So when we go up there, we give them horse treats, and I don't know. I mean, I have no idea if the horses enjoy the spotlight, but they love treats and they like to get rubbed, and they're the two that I've been bringing around, Luke and Tough. They're so ridiculously calm. They're a bunch of kids' horses, so kids can take pictures and whatnot with them, and that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome that they, it really is amazing that you can take a wild horse and, they really just turn around and really come to you, and you get such a strong bond with them.
Wait till you see the movie.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine.
Starts with kick.
So you all adopted 16 Mustangs, and was there a reason as to why you adopted 16 and not more or less?
Well, we didn't. Some of the Mustangs that we used on a trip were actually trained beforehand. We got those for the cameramen to use because it's one thing to do the trip, it's another thing to do it with a bunch of wild Mustangs. So we tried to get them some good horses. Sorry, repeat your question again?
As to why you picked 16 instead of, more or less to take with you.
Right. Well, if you, on a long trip, you have to have one horse to ride, one horse to carry your stuff, and then one horse to switch out. Because if you have a saddle sore or something like that, you can't just ride it. I guess you could, but then you're an asshole.
Right. Humanely speaking.
So we all had spare horses, and then the cameraman had a horse, and then we had some get hurt, so we had to not use them for the rest of the trip, and we brought some new ones on. So we used 16 total.
Okay. And now, did your cameramen, did they have any prior experience in riding, or was this a whole new experience for them?
No, they had no idea what they had gotten themselves into. But they're pretty good now.
Right, yeah. Better be. Yeah, I'm sure as like a very inexperienced rider. I mean, just from the trailers, some of the trails that I see in that, it's just like, whoa. As someone new, they had to be very trusting in the horse and you guys that you knew what you were doing.
Yeah. I mean, they figured it out pretty quick. But, Phil, the director, it was like day 3 or 4. He ended up taking just a horrible kick straight to the thigh.
Ooh.
We thought it snapped his femur. And he had to go to the hospital for, 2 weeks or so. Or he couldn't do, there was no way. And then for the rest of the trip, he had this massive blood bubble that worked his way all the way down to his foot, which was kind of fun to watch.
The joys of being around horses.
Right.
So, what was it like kind of having a film crew follow you every day? Did that take some getting used to? Was it weird at first?
Yeah, it was weird because, whenever there's a camera around, you try to sound intelligent, which is pretty difficult for me and the other guys sometimes. And then, over the next, I think the first few weeks it was kind of weird, but then we got used to it and then just stopped caring. And then they just kind of became part of the team.
Yeah, and so this trip was a little over 5 months in length. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so I'm sure you guys, like we mentioned earlier, had some incredible bonds with the horses. Do you have a favorite of the 16?
I do. Yeah. At a big bay, we almost didn't use him because whenever we adopted him, he was a really slow learner, really scared, really skittish. We actually called him Spooky for a while.
No.
And just over time, he became my best horse, and he's this powerhouse of a Mustang, and built like a linebacker, not quite 15 hands, but just this amazing mountain horse, and he just walks fast everywhere he goes, and he's the man. So yeah, you definitely, all horses have their pros and cons and their quirks, but he's my favorite horse, my favorite traveling horse.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, when you get horses and you really get into them, you can, they all have their different personalities and their different, funny characters and stuff like that. And I'm sure that was really cool to kind of see these horses and their characters come out over the course of the trip as you guys got to know them a little bit better.
Yeah, they were our traveling companions, part of the team. So, yeah, we had our good days and bad days with the horses.
And, I grew up watching John Wayne movies and, thinking about the Wild West and all that stuff. And that's kind of what I think, when I think Unbranded, you guys kind of went back to that and how horses were, the way to get around and, they were the way that you guys really got over this trip. And so was there any point in the trip that you kind of felt like you were back in the Wild West on the open frontier?
Yeah, I think I don't know. That's hard to say. I mean, it's not like we were riding around with 6-shooters shooting bad guys with masks. But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of respect for cultures that were nomadic. Our ancestors that were nomadic. But what blew my mind training these horses and doing this trip was, the Plains Indians. They would literally just take untrained horses and, start riding them around. Mm-hmm. And, what took us 5 months to do. So I don't know about like Wild West. We did consult a lot of old journals and books on how to do something like that because there's not very many people doing this kind of thing. And but at the same time, we also had really good cell phone service. We had GPSs. We would go into town and load up on, like hamburgers. Put it into our nice coolers with our freezer packs. So, yeah, I mean, we had a lot of the niceties of year 2013.
Yeah, so you mentioned that would stop in towns and stuff. So did you hunt at any point to sustain yourselves, or was it pretty much just kind of
we ate some fish, but we did it in the summertime when it's not hunting season. So we weren't going to be poachers or anything like that.
Right. And I know in the trailer for the film, you're fly fishing on the back of one of the horses. What was that like, going fly fishing on horseback?
Nervous. Yeah. I mean, it was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. I don't really know how to explain it. You should do it.
Yeah. I don't know if my horse would really appreciate, me swinging a fishing rod around. He might not like that, but I'm sure one of ours might. Have to desensitize him to it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. You should choose your horse wisely for that one.
Right. Don't want to end up soaking wet. So you all, so you didn't really hunt any, but you guys, stopped around a lot. And what was kind of the craziest thing that happened or the wildest experience that you had during your journey?
I think our horses ran away from us for 40 miles. That that sucked.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And split the team up, and it was a disaster. Almost ended the trip. I mean, I don't want to you need to see the movie, really, because I can describe it, but actually watching it is it makes it a lot more real.
Mhm.
But
So when you were little, did you ever dream about going on kind of a great adventure like this, or was this something that you would have never dreamed of doing?
no, I mean, I think going on an adventure is a very human desire, and doing something. It doesn't have to be a horseback ride. It can be, hiking the Appalachian Trail or climbing Everest or, whatever it is that you've always wanted to do. For me, it was this trip, and I'm really glad that I did it.
Yeah, and so you and your three co-stars were Texas A&M alumni, and so do you have any advice for people that are in college, kind of wanting to make an impact in the horse industry, kind of what you did with Unbranded? Do you have any advice for them?
Um, in the horse industry, man, the horse industry is really tough to make a profession in. I don't know. I think bigger than the horse industry, it's just I have a lot of friends that got out of college and they immediately went into a career, or they immediately got sucked into like a job and a 55-hour work week, and they never took the time to live for themselves. You've got a lot of society's norms of go straight to college, get a job, do this, and I get it. It's what makes financial sense. It's what is intelligent. For your advisors that will tell you. Whenever Unbranded started, it was the stupidest idea. Like, you're really gonna ride a bunch of Mustangs from Mexico to Canada? That's ridiculous. And now 3 years later, we can say that it was a good idea because we're going to be in hundreds of theaters. But at the time, whenever the idea just spawned, it was super risky. But I'm so glad that I decided to do something like this rather than finding a corporate job or just going and not taking a year or 2 years and really doing what it is that you're passionate about and what you love. Because that's what this was for me. It was a point in time for me to go out and do what I love, and I'm so glad I did this, and I'll never regret this decision.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm old. I mean, I'm 27, but now that I've done it once, I'm just going to keep doing this and hopefully avoid a real job for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's the hope that we all have, right? Yeah, so, I mean, for, people like me, I graduate coming up in December, and, all we hear is the culture now is go get a job. Why don't you have a job right after why aren't you applying for jobs? And it's, not really sort of the thing of what are you passionate about, what do you want, how do you want to impact the world and, leave your mark. And so, I think that what you did and you and your friends did is really kind of something for the youth to kind of give us, yes, you can go do something, and after college, and it's okay. You don't have to go straight into that career and that job.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing about the equine industry, though, is if you're working hands-on with horses, you got a great job. So it's not like you're pushing papers for, an insurance company or something boring. No offense to you insurance company people. I have insurance. Thank you. But maybe goes spend a year working with horses in Argentina or New Zealand. Even if you don't make any money, that experience that you have, I feel like it certainly has made me grow as a person, and it's something I'm really glad that I did.
And so, what did your parents have to say when you sat down and said, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm gonna go on this trip"? What did they have to say about that?
Oh, well, by that point in time in my life, my mother probably wasn't too surprised.
All right, well, so now that everybody is back and you guys are on the road promoting Unbranded, where are the horses now?
I have all mine. I keep them in Texas.
Okay. And so do you have any future plans to adopt more Mustangs, or, like you kind of mentioned that, you totally go on another kind of crazy adventure again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm game. Let's do it. Right now, I haven't adopted any horses since then, just because I still have 6 of mine. I really don't want to part with them. But yeah, I've got some stuff cooking on the back burner.
Well, stay tuned for that. Keep an open ear for what's to come. And so, do you think you would ever, in the future, if you adopted another Mustang, compete in one of the Mustang makeover competitions?
Yeah, for sure. We've been doing some showing at the Mustang makeover competitions, and they're a blast to watch. And I really like the culture there and the people that compete. And that's the thing about these Mustangs is you don't know what you're going to get whenever you adopt one. Well, that goes for any horse. But some of them turn out super handy really fast. Others, it takes 50 days before you can start safely being around them. So there's a lot of uncertainty with these horses, which keeps it exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And so you recently announced that you are helping out a friend and you're producing another film. So
yeah, we are. We actually met Eduardo on the Unbranded ride, and this guy just shows up with no arm, and he's like, "I'm gonna come with you guys and cook," and we're like, "Okay, come on." And anyways, he went with us for a few days. And I asked him how he lost his arm, and he told me this story of how he was involved in this electrical accident that was just this freak deal. And he almost died, and while he's in the hospital, he got cancer, and then he went through chemo. And anyways, this really intense story of almost dying and then surviving and then recovering and being a stronger, better person than you were beforehand. And we think it's going to be, well, we know it's going to be really, really good. And we're doing a Kickstarter for that right now. We've raised like 75 grand in the past few weeks, and have another 75 to go. So if you want to get involved in a cool project, give us your money.
Yeah, help out a good cause. We know how it turned out for Unbranded, and so we know that it's gonna be good with you guys.
Yeah, it'll be different. I don't have as big of a role in this one. It'll be different, but I think the impact that it's going to have is going to be tremendous. Especially, I've had friends and I've had family members that have gotten cancer or really bad accidents that weren't their fault, and it kind of feels like the world's against you. It's easy to get depressed and get down on yourself. So hopefully this documentary, Charged, is going to be something that people that are in the hospital or in the dumps can watch and see what happened to this inspirational guy, and how maybe it can apply for their lives too, and recover and be better.
And so, where can everybody find out more about both Unbranded and Charged?
Charged, go Google Kickstarter, Charged, you'll see it. Watch the video, it's crazy. And then Unbranded is unbrandedthefilm.com.
And so how can fans get a screening in their area if there isn't one right now?
So we're using a theater or a company called Tug, which is a deal. So like theaters, they have to sell seats, they have to make money. And we're using Tug. Tug pre-sells enough seats in an area so that the theater books it. So if you want to bring it to your town, just go to Google Tug Unbranded and then just request it in your town, and then all we have to do is sell like 30 to 50 seats, and then we'll help you out. We've got huge social media and emails, and then you sell some seats and the theater books it, and then usually we sell them out. So yeah, if you have an organization or something like that you want to host an event around and bring Unbranded, we can make it happen.
Yeah, and it's a really simple, user-friendly process. So don't host a movie screening and like freak out. It's actually a very simple process and something that's very easy that anybody could do.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, it's really
cool.
Awesome.
We didn't have, all this like Kickstarter and Tug. It's really allowed, filmmakers that, 10 years ago wouldn't have a chance to break into these big markets, and we're gonna be in 100 theaters, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And so, last but certainly not least, we have an awesome opportunity for the fans to have their questions answered by you with a live Q&A. And so that will be on Tuesday, September 29th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be doing a live Q&A with Ben on an app called Periscope. So mark your calendars and submit your questions to Q&A@southernhorsetalk.com, and the email will be linked below. But just submit your questions there, and we'll make sure that Ben gets them to answer, and we're really excited about that. So that's about all the time we have for today. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ben. We really, really appreciated it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so I hope everybody enjoyed getting to know Ben better. And don't forget to check out Becca at Alabama Horse Talk and Horse Talk Radio, and then Southern Horse Talk as well, and then my blog, Southern Belle Equestrian. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.